I'm wondering if Nick, the Australian, would like some of this. There's Putin toilet paper, but it's a bit difficult to travel with, isn't it? Let's have a wander, because you never know, I might just find something which a friend, such as Nick the Australian, might thank me for picking up. I was wondering about the stamps. So telepathically, if I could hello, dobry den. If I could communicate with Nick in Australia right now, I'd be able to ask him, is it a waste of time looking for things? Because I know he often thinks a lot of the stuff that I consider treasures, he considers junk. But I thought about whether he might like some of the stamps that have come out over some of the incidents which have happened during Russia's war on Ukraine. I picked up one of these in Estonia, and the lady asked me for 10 euros, so I gave her 10 euros, thinking, well, handmade and everything, and I see them here for just 40 hryvnia. So I made a considerable contribution to dobry den. I made a considerable contribution to the refugees who had made it to Estonia. They made 90% profit, at least. And you know what, I think, well, good luck to them, because to me it was worth 10 euros. That's the thing, which might sound a bit strange, because I'd had one from years ago which I managed to lose. And so I thought, this is the opportunity. I've suddenly see them available. I'll get one while I can. And to be frank, at that stage, I had no idea if and when I would ever be able to make it this far and to finally get to see my friends again. Maybe, just maybe, this is that performing arts theatre. Looks more likely, doesn't it? Looks more likely than not, I would say. Let's see if there's a sign. Ah, there is. I've just seen a literal sign. Ah, yeah. This is the one. Theatre was built in 1836 to 1842. Crikey, Sarah Bernhardt performed here. Would you believe it? Pinhack. If you haven't heard of Sarah Bernhardt, shame on you. Time you use Wikipedia, that's what it's there for. Or Google, or DuckDuckGo if you prefer that search engine. So I did find the theatre. Like I say, beautiful inside from the photos. The only problem for characters such as me and thee is that the performances, of course, will be in Ukrainian, which is perfectly understandable. If you understand Ukrainian, then I'd say give it a go. If you don't, maybe consider something else, like the Philharmonia, which we saw being advertised, where you can enjoy the music. Music is a universal language, isn't it? How profane, but not profane, how profound. That's the one. I'm not being profane for a change, I'm being profound. Yes, me. I'm being profound, I've decided. If there's a gala performance of operatic arias or of classical music at Lviv's premier opera house, you really want to go in here, don't you? And have a good nose around. Half the fun of going into an opera house, I think, is being able to see the interior. I know there are sometimes separate tours which take place during the day. You can walk around at a price, buy a ticket for that kind of tour if you wish. There we are. I want to go around, zoom in and capture every detail, and of course I can't with my crap camera, but one day I'll get monetized by YouTube. One day I'll have enough subscribers and enough views. One day, yeah, forget about it. It's never gonna happen. You're kidding yourself, you sad old Okay, I'm going to check the itinerary. There are some rich pickings here, in English as well as Ukrainian. So Turandot, La Traviata, Giselle, a ballet in 2 acts, Don Giovanni. Why not actually follow through with that idea of, oh, I'm interested in the culture? Because what on earth does that mean? Well, there's an example. Could actually go and watch and listen to a Ukrainian opera being performed. As I say, it's only 2 acts. How much of your life is that taking up? Not a lot, I would say. That looks very much like the National Museum of something. Is it the National Museum of Art? Have to get closer to see. Yes, indeedly doodly. And although this may seem a little irrelevant, I don't think it is. This is the National Museum of Art, but what I'm hearing is the top museum, if you want to know about Lviv, and the history of Lviv and the history of Ukraine, is actually the Lviv City Museum. I haven't pinpointed that with a camera yet, but that's one to look out for, because apparently it's one of the few museums which actually has all the information also available for you to read in English as you go around the exhibition rooms. As I say, this is, however comical it may sound, this is just a trip to the supermarket again, which I'm turning into an elaborate Lord of the Rings 3-4 hour movie trilogy, aren't I? Can't help myself, unfortunately. And what's this we've got? Oh, we've got some characters here. Is it a museum? Is it a restaurant? It's a Galleria Pizzariv. Sounds like a pizza restaurant, doesn't it? But clearly a pizza restaurant didn't build all of that. Perhaps that's not available and they've just tacked on to the outside of it, the restaurant part, and put in some, well, rather expensive, eye-catching figures. Yeah, that ain't fiberglass, that's the real thing. They've taken the trouble to do that heavy metal casting. Crikey. More figures this way as well. This must have cost a fortune to put together, this series of knights in armour. Just in metal value, never mind all the work to produce them. Flipping heck. It's like an outdoor museum of battle armoury from the Middle Ages, isn't it? And yeah, the door doesn't look as though it's just going to magically open. Crass. Yeah, no, that's more to do with the restaurant, I think. That is definitely one to check up on. And I would say, yeah, there's going to be some swanky prices here, but they've invested so much money into setting this establishment up. I might just feel like my small reward to them and thanks, as long as the food and drink was okay. If I was you, I'd think about coming here just because they've really made an effort, haven't they? Crikey. And if they built that tower, which I can't believe they have, if they built that tower in addition just for the restaurant, then I'm rendered speechless. Business lunches, 190 grivna, which is what? A little under $6 for a piece of fish, which isn't my cup of tea, some boiled potatoes, some beans and sauerkraut, and an egg and vegetable soup. maybe some meat in there as well. But for that price in a restaurant, okay, everything else might be incredibly expensive, who knows, but the business lunch looks definitely a steal. And before all the parting up that took place, something like 15 years ago, probably, I ate here. I was staying at the Hotel Lviv, which isn't far away, and what really amazed me, astonished me, was that as the month changed, suddenly the prices rocketed. So my memory is back then that the prices were low enough to tempt me to go and eat there. But then I guess maybe it was end of May and beginning of June, suddenly the prices went up. Or maybe it was the end of April and the beginning of May, the prices suddenly shot up. Not sure entirely. Oh, I'm hearing Okean Elzy, famous Ukrainian band, on the radio, piping out music from the restaurant. Very nice too. Tempted? If you'd been here, would you have been tempted? I might have been tempted, you know. You want to hear that music, don't you? Because the guy's got a heavy metal guitar. And he's dressed like Father Christmas. What a combination. Who wouldn't be tempted to go and listen to that and watch the performance? What are we going to see as we come down here? Anything new? Probably not. As soon as I say that, something dramatic might happen. Well, something dramatic did happen. A young lady came out of, half stumbled out of this fancy looking, expensive jewellers, selling icons as well as jewellery. And what amazed me was the smell of alcohol on her breath. As I say, she half stumbled out of the jewellers. Probably not a good idea to have too much of a liquid lunch and then stumble off to the jewellers, because you might be tempted to flash your plastic card and later regret having spent an awful lot of money on a spontaneous and very expensive piece of jewellery. But if it made her happy, who am I to say no? I was thinking last night as I lay in bed, listening to the late arrivals, doing their thing, and ignoring the fact, or unable to do anything about the fact that other people were trying to sleep in the room because they had to prioritise their own needs. And if it made a noise, then so be it. But I digress. Yet it occurred to me as I lay in bed, I wonder if there's a Stolovajar somewhere, like a milk bar, an old-fashioned, traditional, 20th century, very competitively priced canteen for normal folk. And they're often in the vicinity of bazaars, for example, and little marketplaces. Here's a place called City Buffet, and it's definitely a lot more upmarket. Therefore, it's not for me. I nearly missed my turn. You mean you're making these videos with an identical twin? No, there are three of us. We're triplets, actually. No, what I meant was my turn, because I'm heading over to here. Yes, I finally found it. The Arson supermarket. God, I walked past it about 3 times and I just couldn't see it. Ridiculous. And why didn't I see it? Because I was focused on something else across the street, the statue of King Danilo. No, the statue of King Danilo, unpronounceable surname, Harishki, or however he's called. That's further up the road on the left. No, I've got no excuse other than complete blind spot for me, the Arsene supermarket. Now I've found it at once. Of course, there it is. Can't miss it. No traffic? Oh, that's good. I suppose they would be within their rights to mow me down if I was crossing on a red light. Where did they come from? Arsene. This is the place. Where's the shopping list? And it's a thumbs up from me for Arsene, who hopefully you can see just behind me. They had my cornflakes and my bran flakes. So it's a thumbs up for Arsene, and it's not a middle finger up to Silpo at all, far from it. But just for my particular specific needs, I would say Arsene ticks the boxes better, just in my opinion. But of course, whatever you're having for your breakfast, lunch and dinner, you might find that it's all available to you in Silpo and not so easily available or so competitively priced in Arsene. It swings and roundabouts with supermarkets sometimes, isn't it? Time to head back to the ranch. I feel like trying out some of the new ginger and lemon and lemongrass tea I just bought, because I've been doing too much talking, which I probably shouldn't, but that never usually stops me even when I'm healthy, does it? And I'm getting a bit throaty and croaky. Therefore, I think because of my throat giving out, finally, they say, finally, it could be back tomorrow. Don't count your chickens. Phew. Come to the end of this video, I think. We'll call it an end there, call it a day, and I'll get back to doing some exciting video editing later on, working for you, if anybody's actually watching these videos. Now, don't want to miss my crossing. No, I think I know where I am. I should do by now. It's such a small, compact, easy centre to navigate. After a day or two, you'll be just fine whenever you feel it's the right time for you to visit Lviv. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking if you've liked. Thanks for subscribing if you've already subscribed. Those numbers do mean a lot to me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I can hardly blame you. I mean, here's your opportunity. Yes, that's what I meant. Here's your opportunity. I'm giving you this opportunity to subscribe. A full 12-month subscription. You get an awful lot of me blabbering, but it doesn't cost you a penny. So why not? Over and out from Walkie Talkie Traveller channel.